In a stinging defeat for United States President Donald Trump, the Republican-controlled Senate has failed to repeal major elements in former President Barack Obama's signature health care plan. 3 Republicans joined the Democrats to reject the GOP's so-called skinny repeal. It aimed to remove a stipulation that most people acquire health care while suspending a requirement that companies of a certain size provide health care to their employees.
Despite pressure from the White House to pass some healthcare measure out of the Senate, 3 Republican senators, including the ailing John McCain, who returned from Arizona to Washington this week after being diagnosed with an aggressive brain cancer, voted to block the legislation. This has denied President Trump any major legislative accomplishments over 6 months into his presidency. McCain immediately tweeted after his no vote that the skinny repeal fell short because of Republican promises to repeal and replace Obamacare with meaningful reform. Also on Twitter, President Trump called out the no voters, writing that 3 Republicans and 48 Democrats let the American people down.
This is clearly a disappointing moment. From skyrocketing costs to plummeting choices and collapsing markets, our constituents have suffered through an awful lot under Obamacare. We thought they deserved better. It's why I and many of my colleagues did as we promised and voted to repeal this failed law.
The Senate has tried but failed to pass multiple versions of repeal and replace, but estimates that millions would lose health care as a result appears to have won the day. Democrats have urged Republicans to work with them to improve the existing Obamacare legislation.
We can work together. Our country demands it. Every place in every corner of the world, of the country where we go, the number one thing we are asked, and I know this because I've talked to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, is can't you guys work together? Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. I yield the floor.
These were the joyous scenes outside the Capitol precinct when the results were announced. It's unclear what happens next after multiple failures to move legislation on healthcare. President Trump has suggested that Republicans should simply let the current healthcare law implode before returning to fix it later. But despite the rancor and rhetoric, this was a major defeat for this president, who has punted his deal-making skills as a cornerstone of this presidency. Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.